Hello, welcome to another episode of Context. I'm Dilek Tuna. Today we discuss the inauguration of Lachin International Airport as part of strengthening trilateral ties between Pakistan, Türkiye and Azerbaijan. In the highlands of Lachin, a runway becomes more than infrastructure, it becomes a message. As Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan join Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev to inaugurate Lachin International Airport, what we're witnessing is more than ribbon cutting. This is the latest chapter in a trilateral relationship gaining altitude, politically, economically and symbolically. But what's driving this deepening alignment between Islamabad, Ankara and Baku, and how much of it is about shared history and how much is about shared strategic vision in a shifting world order? So joining me today to discuss are Nargiz Mammadova. She's an expert in international relations at STEM Analytical Center from Baku. Kauser Nawab, he's the chairman of the Belt and Road Initiative for Sustainable Development from Islamabad, and Yashar Sarı, director of Heydar Aliyev Center for Eurasian Studies at Ibn Haldun University in Istanbul. Welcome to you all. Thanks for joining us on the program. So,
thank you.
Okay, so what's the symbolic weight of Pakistan's participation in this event, and how does it reflect Islamabad's current foreign policy goals?
So thank you very much. Lachin, of course, once a site of occupation, war, and of course devastation, where every step was haunted by threat of landmines. Recently, we have seen is now transformed into a symbol of peace and progress. This is, of course, not only a historical day, but it's being a Pakistani and once close allies to Azerbaijan. Islamabad sees it more than a historical day, but a symbol of peace and prosperity as well. And it's a very huge and strong message to the world of today's inauguration. That's the reason that the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and along with the President of Turkey and of course the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan is there in this beautiful mountains and the beautiful valley. And I think this shows the Islamabad policy of supporting peace, prosperity across the world, and of course a very powerful message of standing with justice in this land which was once occupied by the oppressor.
Okay. And Nargiz, how is this trilateral alignment viewed within Azerbaijan? Is it seen as a strategic partnership or a diplomatic gesture rooted in gratitude and shared values?
First of all, thank you for the invitation. And secondly, I think that the strategic alliance itself within Pakistan and Turkey is a huge happiness for Azerbaijan. And in the foreign strategy and the foreign policy of Azerbaijan, it has a really crucial point for regional cooperation. And it's very interesting and it's very promising at the same time that this happening today on the 28th of May, which is also a very crucial and very paramount, I would even say, date for Azerbaijan. So, you know, I can describe it as if Azerbaijan would be a person on his birthday, a person wants to see the closest one, the people that make him or her happy. I think Azerbaijan on this day, on this very essential day in the history of Azerbaijan, wanted to see his key allies and friends, which are Pakistan and Turkey.
Okay, that's a nice metaphor. Now, Yashar, Turkey has been steadily expanding its strategic footprint in the region. Does this partnership with Pakistan and Azerbaijan represent a soft power coalition or something with harder geopolitical edges?
This meeting has several meanings. First, where they met, for what reason they met, and the timing. Timing is important because today is the modern Azerbaijan state independency. On 28 May 1918, Azerbaijan established its modern state, and it has impact today Azerbaijan too. The second is to the place where they met, Lachin corridor. In those who studied Azerbaijan and so-called Nagorno-Karabakh issue, Lachin Corridor play a very important role in 1990s. Today we see in Lachin already liberated and the airport is built there. That means that if you build the airport in one area, that means you secure, you fully control the area. So Azerbaijan shows that they fully control those territories long time occupied by Armenian forces. Those who attended this opening ceremony, Turkish President Erdogan, the Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, is important. Why? Already Azerbaijan and Turkey have signed strategic alliances in Shusha. That is the Shusha Declaration. And putting the Pakistan all together at this trilateral meeting means that these three states are ready to cooperate, have this strategic cooperation, and support each other when one of them have a problem, which has happened during the Karabakh Wars, the Second Karabakh War. Both sides, both Turkey and Pakistan, provided diplomatic and other type of support. As we know, recently the fighting between the Pakistan and the India, Turkey and Azerbaijan supported Pakistan government. For that reason, these three leaders coming together and the opening this Lachin International Airport, signaling the all actors in the region or the actors which is related to these countries are acting together. So that is having the very important influential impact on the geopolitics, as well as the carrying image and the message. That's the part of the soft power.
Okay. Now, Kaiser, is Pakistan positioning itself more explicitly as a part of this emerging Türkiye Azarban Pakistan triangle? And if so, what's the strategic payoff?
So, just adding to my colleagues, that today's day is, of course, very important for Pakistan itself as well, because on this day, on 28th May 1998, Pakistan became a nuclear power and the first Muslim nuclear power in the world, which was very important for Pakistan's self-defense and its, of course, its dignity as well. And this is also adding the value of the today's date. Of choosing the place, the date, and then sharing the same date with the leadership of the brotherly countries, Azerbaijan, Turkey. And also it's that Pakistan was and Turkey was one of the first countries to recognize the independence of Azerbaijan as well. And I believe that this also adding more values. And we have seen yesterday some photos from the visits and the friendly conversation between the head of states and the delegates. And I think this also gave a strong message of the Pakistan, not only the foreign policy or the strategic alliance policy, but it also gave the message to the people of both the countries, or even including Turkey as well, because previously the Prime Minister visited Turkey. And this visit was also aligned with just my previous colleague mentioned about Azerbaijan and Turkey's support on Pakistan and India conflict. And this was also a visit to saying thanks and gratefulness to the people and the leadership of both the countries. And I believe that this is not just only a symbolic visit. This is actually showing the world in a very open way that how these three countries are as close as a one nation and how they can support each other in a conflict. But as my colleague mentioned about this corridor, I think it's important to mention that previously the president of Azerbaijan visited China, and China being the initiator of the Belt and Road Initiative, they also discussed about this corridor, which means that this corridor has a greater importance of connectivity between the East and West. And I think this has a much more role in the future foreign policy influence as well. And Pakistan being there is a strategic partner of Azerbaijan and also a strategic and all-weather strategic partner of China is also a message of great. You can say that it can be bring the prosperity in the region as well, being a partner in this whole alliance.
Okay. Nargis, Lachin holds deep symbolism given its role in the post-conflict period. What message is Baku sending by hosting this international gathering there?
Well, I can say that there are at least 3 points or 3 messages that we deliver to the world. First of all, that we think about and we integrate Lachin into the economic region of Karabakh, as well as we integrated Khankandi, Shusha, Kalbajar, Aghdam, Fizuli, and other regions of the Karabakh, other cities of the Karabakh. And the second message is that that there were rumors, or I will not say rumors, there were narratives that why you need a third airport in the Karabakh. Well, and the opening of the Lachin airport is actually a good answer to it, because we will integrate Karabakh region into different transport logistical projects. One of them is Middle Corridor, or as well part of the Zangezur corridor. Also, as my colleague said about Belt and Road Initiative, Pakistan has great vision towards the China, as well as Azerbaijan is a part of the Belt and Road Initiative, and the visit of the President Ilham Aliyev to China is also a proof of it. And the third signal, I think that the latest events that happened started from the Karabakh, the Second Karabakh War, the winning point of the Azerbaijan in the Pakistan, where the war, which was the winning point of the Pakistan, and also Turkey as a regional leader. If we will put all the efforts together on the Karabakh, it's also a mutual trilateral winning point for each country.
Okay. And Yashar, what's the long-term vision for this trilateral relationship? Could it rival traditional blocs in the region?
That's a very good question. Actually, first we should emphasize already there is a strategic alliances between Turkey and Azerbaijan. That's very clearly explained in Shusha Declaration. So having the Pakistan, that's taking these alliances from out of the region too, because there is no border between Turkey and Azerbaijan with Pakistan. So that means that these alliances show that this is not just regional oriented, but the more global cooperation, because of these 3 countries have the mutual interest. That mutual interest make them to act together. This mutual interest related security interest, which is these countries see that if they act together, they can have the more collective security and preventing the other countries to attack them. The second thing is as already my other colleagues mentioned about the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. And this initiative is important. Why? This initiative starts from the China, passed through Central Asia and Pakistan, and then coming through Azerbaijan and Turkey to Europe, the Western countries. So these countries are important partner of the China on this middle corridor. So that way make them to these countries, if they act together, they can have the more role, more influential position related middle corridor, because of we know that international system is changing the center from the Atlantic to Asia Pacific, and the main actors of this new international system, one of the main and probably the biggest actors is China.
Okay. And Kasia, what could this relationship eventually expand into formalized trilateral cooperation in trade, defense, or even diplomacy?
So I think this is also seen in recent history. For example, just last month we have seen both countries supported Pakistan, and Pakistan is always ready for Turkey and Azerbaijan, even We have seen this in the past as well. So this front of defense is very important because these days this modern equipment, fifth generations equipment is very important to have with almost the countries for the self-defense and for bringing the peace in the region. And Pakistan is also, again, I would like to mention China itself, that we have a very close alliance with China, and China is a huge development in their fifth generation defense equipment, including drones and aircrafts. And we have seen this recently, that how the Chinese aircrafts, which was used by Pakistan Air Force against Indian aircraft, which they used the French Rafale, and this was the historic moment in the world for not only Pakistan but our alliance China as well, that how they combat the other aircrafts. And I think this also shows a greater opportunity of collaboration for our other strategic areas like Azerbaijan and Turkey. And also there is a greater cooperation of Pakistan and Azerbaijan and exchanging of these kind of expertise, and this is how actually we can strengthen each other. And similarly, there are some other drones which have been used by Pakistan, and some of the drones have developed between Pakistan and Turkey. And this research and development can be further increased. But I will also focus on today that there is a greater need of collaborating between the young people of the three countries, because the talent lies in the young people. And I think this is more sustainable, and this is, of course, not only the future cooperation, but this is also not the present cooperation, but this is the future cooperation. And this will actually take us the countries. I remember my visit to Turkey just few years ago, and I met with one random person. And he told me that we used to read the Pakistani poems in our course book in the school. And he just mentioned some of the language of some of the sentences of the poem in Pakistani national languages in Urdu. And that was actually a moment where we just come as a brother. And I think this is also a smaller affections of bringing the people together. And this can be more formalized by some academic exchanges. And of course, we are supporting each other on diplomatic front at OIC and national securities. And Azerbaijan and Turkey is one of the top countries who are supporting the Kashmir issue as well. And similarly, Pakistan is also supporting on other fronts. And I think this kind of collaboration, we are already doing it, but we need to make it further towards the people to people. We have seen the power of social media. During the Karabakh War, we were the first among the youth of the world who supported Azerbaijan on social media and, of course, on other fronts internationally as well. We mentioned about Karabakh issues everywhere in the world, and wherever we've been invited to the conferences, seminars, or events. So today's world is not only just a world where we can fight on the mountains or anywhere in the grounds, but there is the war this is the war of the narratives, and we can support the narratives of each other, and this is by bringing the people closer. And I think the academic exchanges, culture exchanges, and we have seen the Turkish dramas in Pakistan, and I think Pakistan is also a great opportunity of portraying their dramas. We have also seen Ali and Nino, the Azerbaijani drama in Pakistan, and I think this is actually what we will bring us the larger masses, because not all the people have the opportunity to visit Turkey, or Turkey people who visit Pakistan, or similarly in Azerbaijan. So I think media plays an important role, and AnewZ and other such news, the regionals, televisions, stations, they're like doing their greater role now, and we have seen greater presence of Pakistan into Azerbaijani media recently as well.
Okay. Now, Nargiz, how does this trilateral show of unity resonate with other regional powers, especially those cautious of growing Turkish influence in the Caucasus?
Well, actually, we need to talk here about the multilateral policy, foreign policy of Azerbaijan. As you know, recently, the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, paid a visit to Hungary to informal summit of Turkic states. And actually, lots of the Turkish countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan have their own schools as a gift for the solidarity with people, with the solidarity with the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. And you know, it's also a proof that the Karabakh will be a pearl of South Caucasus, not only by the means of beauty and etc. No, it will be economic boost. There will be economic boost and motivation for entrepreneurs, for small and medium entrepreneurs to come to Karabakh to invest on those regions, as well as many countries helps Azerbaijan for demining. Many countries helps us with the renewable energy in Karabakh. So there are lots of areas of cooperation with other countries, and that also means that the countries that we cooperate understand that our pain during the occupation period and understand our happiness and willingness to rebuild the Karabakh from 0 to 100% standpoint. The opening of the Lachin airport or any other projects that are implementing right now on the Karabakh actually is a great evidence how one country alone, with lots of efforts, lots of motivation, can rebuild territory that was fully crashed.
Okay. And Yashar, from Ankara's point of view, how important is Pakistan in balancing regional rivals like India or Iran, especially as the corridor strategies evolve?
I mean, Pakistan have very strong security forces. Let's not forget, already mentioned, Pakistan is the only Muslim nuclear country, has a nuclear power capacity. For that reason, Pakistan has a very important position within its own region and internationally too. For that reason, some countries are trying pressure on the Pakistan get Pakistan a nuclear program, which they did in Iraq, in Libya, and so on. For Turkey, Pakistan has a long friend. I mean, this is not just a few years from the starting of the independence of the Pakistan. And they were part of the different regional organizations, sent to Baghdad Pact, and right now is the part of the Economic Cooperation Organization, which Pakistan, Turkey, Iran, and the Central Asian, Azerbaijan, of course, Central Asian countries are the members. So in that sense, Pakistan is the very important player and actor which Turkey wants to continue their cooperation. Turning this relation from the bilateral to trilateral, including the Azerbaijan, making a strong bloc of country. That way, when you act alone, you have the limited power. But when you three countries act together, all together, that can challenge all possible powerful actors which wants to be active in the region.
Indeed. Okay. Thank you so much to you all. Yashar, Kaysa and Nargis, I appreciate your participation in the program today.
So thank you very much, and I wish a happy Independence Day to all my brothers and sisters from Azerbaijan.
Thank you, and on behalf of
Long live Azerbaijan.
Thank you, thank you. And on behalf of the AnewZ team, we also wish Azerbaijan a very happy Liberation Day. Now, an airport can serve many purposes: for travel, for trade, or for symbolism. Today in Lachin, it served all three. As Pakistan, Turkey, and Azerbaijan draw closer, what remains to be seen is whether their growing bond can translate into long-term strategic alignment, and how the rest of the region responds to a partnership that increasingly looks more than a passing alliance. That's Context. I'm Dilek Tuna. Thank you for watching.